Hey everyone! I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Boom Shikha and I welcome you to my channel. As always, I'm so grateful that you're listening, subscribing, and commenting. I appreciate the support. And if you're interested in supporting me further, you can do that by going to my Patreon or Ko-fi link. They're linked in the description below. In this one, I wanted to speak to you guys about something that I've been thinking about for a while now, for years now actually. And it's brought up really profoundly in the recent past because of the fact that the virus is kind of causing a lot of death in the world right now. Now, I don't say this lightly, obviously, I might seem like I am, but of course, there are a lot of people who are kind of going through a lot of grief right now because they're losing their loved ones, especially a lot of parents and, fathers, mothers, things like that. But it kind of brought into view the fact that most people on this planet, unfortunately, pretend like they're never going to die, or they never actually think about their death as a lot of religious institutions teach us to, especially Buddhism. I know that when I did my yoga teacher training, which was a long time ago, 12 years or so ago, I think. Anyways, it was a while back ago. When I did that, I think one of the books that my teacher recommended for us all to read was the Tibetan Book of the Dead. Now, I don't know if you guys have read that or not. For me, it was a very difficult read. I don't even think I finished the whole thing. But the main idea that I got from it was to contemplate my death on a daily basis. And I'm so grateful that I was able to get that lesson from that book because it literally has been one of the foundations of my spiritual practice throughout the last 10, 12 years. Now, I'm not saying I do this every single day, but as much as possible throughout the week, I will try to think about the fact that I'm going to die soon. Now, of course, I'm not doing it in a morbid fashion, right? I'm not thinking, oh my God, I'm going to die, the world hates me, and things like that. But in general, to think about it in the way that, I want each and every moment of life that has been given to me to be as perfectly used as possible because of the fact that I'm going to die soon. And so the more that we think about death, the more that we put our viewpoint or our radar on death, realizing that we could die at any moment in time, no matter how young we are, no matter how healthy we are, no matter what, literally you could die at any moment in time. In order to think about that on a daily basis, because what happens with that is that the more you think about death, the more alive you are, the more you're able to live each moment as perfectly as possible, as deep as possible, as deeply as you can. And and that's really important because I found for myself at least that I was pretending that I was going to live forever, and I wasn't really spending each moment living to the max. I was pretending like I was going to live forever, and I was wasting my life away. I was bored and I'd spent a lot of time not doing things that I cared about. I spent a lot of my time doing things that I hated. I spent my time with people that I didn't like, and I like all of that stuff that a lot of us do. And I realized that little by little, I was frittering away all of these precious moments, these gold like moments that had been given to me. And eventually, I was going to be left with nothing, no moments, and at my deathbed, realizing that I didn't actually live my life that I wanted to live. And because of the fact that I started really thinking about this, I started really thinking about what I wanted my life to look like so that I wouldn't have those regrets at my deathbed. That I could die tomorrow and I'll be like, yeah, cool, no, that's fine because I did exactly what I wanted to do with my life. I contributed in a way that I really thought I wanted to contribute, and if I do die tomorrow, it's okay. And so I started kind of really transforming my life, extreme transformation from where I was and where I am right now. And that's the transformation that happened because of the fact that I was thinking about death on such a daily or regular basis. Now, again, as I said, I'm not thinking about it in a morbid fashion, but I was thinking about it, okay, so if I die tomorrow, what would I want the people at my funeral to say? Or if I die tomorrow, then what would I want to do with my last few moments of life? Or if I had 6 months to live, what would I want to do with the rest of my 6 months? Those precious few 6 months. And so when you start asking these questions on a regular basis, you realize that there are very few things that you really actually care about. And probably if you are a typical person, you're not doing those things on a regular basis. For me, obviously, as I've told you guys many times before, writing was a big thing. Over and over again, I told myself if I had 6 months to live, I'd spend all of that time writing and with my family, and that's it. Those were the two things basically that came up. But I was not writing at that moment in time. When I answered those questions, I wasn't writing at all, right? Maybe a little bit of journaling, but not writing like stories or fiction like I wanted to. I was wasting my time away, basically, not doing the things that I wanted to do, the main thing that I wanted to do with my life on this planet. And so that was a big wake up call for me. And it only happened again because of the fact that I started asking this question: what would I do if I died tomorrow? Or I started asking the question of what is death? What does death mean to me? Like what do I want it to mean? What do I want my death to mean? What do I want the people at the funeral to say? And things like that, the really important questions. And so I'm not saying that for you guys to go and read that book, obviously. I don't think a lot of people will even care to read a book like that. But I do recommend that on a regular basis, as much as possible, whatever that means to you, monthly, yearly, weekly, daily, whatever it is, think about this question. Think about what death means to you, what your death means to you, and what do you want your death to mean, right? What do you want the people at your funeral to say? Or what would you want to do if you were going to die tomorrow, or if you were going to die in 6 months? These are questions that are powerful, extremely powerful, and they have the capacity to completely change our lives if we give them the benefit of the doubt, if we spend some time contemplating it, if we spend some time really going deep within it and thinking about it and answering those questions and then taking actions to change our life to go along with the answers that we had. It's very easy to answer the question and say, oh, if I had 6 months, I would, give up everything and I would go to a cabin and I would paint. It's easy to say it, but would you actually do that? Like, are you actually doing that? Are you changing your life right now and trying to make it so that you can paint every day, even if you're not in a cabin, right? And so it doesn't really matter if you answer the question, but you keep your life exactly the same, right? That's what a lot of people around the planet are doing right now. They know what they want to do with their lives, perhaps. They have an idea of what ideally they'd like to do with their lives, but they're not doing it because, money, mortgage, obligations, family, children, whatever it might be. There's excuses or there's, reasons for it, but they're not doing it. And so the reality of it is, what are you going to do? Are you going to take those steps to change your life because you don't want to have regrets of your deathbed, or are you not? And I believe that a lot of the people right now who are feeling the fear of death, not only the people obviously who are dying, but also the people who are feeling the fear, extreme fear of death, it's because they have not lived their lives the way they wanted to live, and they know that if they died right now, they would have immense regrets. And so I think maybe this is also a wake-up call for a lot of us to really ask that question over and over again. What do I want my death to mean? Not only what do I want my life to mean, but what do I want my death to mean to me? What do I want it to mean to other people? What do I want it to mean to this world? And how do I want to what impact do I want my death or my life to make on this planet before I leave? And these are, as I said, important questions to ask. And perhaps now we have the time to ask them, and answer them. Perhaps you didn't have the time to ask and answer these questions earlier, but maybe you do now. And so it's a good time to take the time to answer the questions, write the answers down, and maybe make a couple of changes. You don't have to completely go upside down with your life, right? You don't have to completely give up everything, but maybe make a couple of changes. If you're not doing something that you really want to do, and you can add that into your daily routine or your weekly routine, then do it. Why not? You're already here, and it's just going to make things better for you. I hope this makes sense. The Tibetan Book of the Dead is definitely a good read if you guys are interested. In general, a lot of Buddhism teaches you about death and about the temporariness of everything. The fact that everything is temporary, everything is impermanent, and everything is going to disappear one day. And the only thing that is permanent is that there's nothing permanent, right? And so we really have to think about this on a daily basis, because that's the only way that we're going to actually live to the ultimate fullest of our potential. Otherwise, we're going to pretend like we're going to live forever and never actually do the things that we need to do or want to do. I hope this makes sense to you guys. If you guys have any questions about this, please do comment below and I shall do a follow-up video. If you guys have read the book, I'd love to hear your comments on it. If you do think about death on a daily basis, I'd love to hear from you on what you think about for yourself it means. And if you guys obviously have any further questions, you can comment below as well. And I shall again do follow-up videos. Thank you so much, and I shall see you guys the next time around. Bye for now.